At Energy Academy Indonesia, we believe that success begins with people and innovation. By nurturing talent and fostering growth, we create a world where limitless possibilities become reality. In today's rapidly evolving world, we recognize the critical need for a seamless transition toward green business. We proudly stand as an expert hub, knowledge hub, and talent hub, bridging innovation, skill, and purpose. To help you grow up, level up, scale up, and skill up, preparing for the challenges and opportunities of tomorrow. With 4 key pillars. Under Pillar 1, Research and Innovation, we bring together expertise and resources. Pillar 2 focuses on capability building and learning experiences, empowering growth and supercharging talent employability. Through Pillar 3, Collaborative Partnership, we connect innovation with the market, forging powerful partnerships. Finally, Pillar 4 focuses on community empowerment, building capacity and partnerships to meet community needs and aspirations. We support and empower efforts to maximize positive impacts, unlock potential, and grow toward a sustainable future.
In the heart of Indonesia, Kartini ignited a movement for equality, for education, and for empowerment. This legacy lives on. Today, women are breaking barriers and driving progress across various fields. Their efforts inspire future leaders and shape a sustainable tomorrow. With that, are you a woman with passion? A woman with a story? Or a woman who chooses to embrace challenges? Share your story with winners, Women in Energy Transition Leadership, empowering women leaders in the energy transition. Throw back to winners' highlights where impactful conversations began. Discover more insight on 25th April with visionary speakers as they share their journeys, challenges, and vision for a sustainable future. Join this coalition platform. Be an angel. And let us join you on your journey. Together, we can turn your vision into reality with winners to leading, inspiring, and innovating, starting today.
And Mr. Edison Bako as the Executive Director at Eurochamp Indonesia. Also to all participants who have already joined us today, I'm hoping that you are in a very good health for today's discussion. All right, to start this session, I would like to invite Mrs. Dasti Alkano, the founder of Energy Academy Indonesia, to give some opening remarks. Mrs. Dasti Alkano, the screen is yours. Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you hear me, Mbak Novita?
Yes, clearly.
Ya. Selamat sore semuanya. Welcome everyone to Ekadin Dialogue and Experience Sharing Forum entitled Global Mindset. Our celebrations for Kartini Day 2025 on behalf of Ekadin Energy Academy Indonesia. Thank you very much for being part of this forum, Energy Lounge. But I'm so sorry, I'm truly sorry I cannot be there with you on site. But I'm with you in spirit and so proud of the community or forum we've built together. And as you know, this forum wouldn't be possible without our amazing collaborations with Eurochamp Indonesia, Pertamina New and Renewable Energy, and all keynote speaker and panelists today, Ibu Hetifah, Pak John Anis, Ibu Carol, Ibu Dwi Murai, as well as Ibu Chandra Sri Sutama, just flying from Paris last night, as well as all Ekadin partners who continue to help us pushing our boundaries. And so if Kartini were here today with us now, I do believe be proud of this forum filled with all passionate leaders, professionals, and change makers. As her fight for education and equality was not just about Indonesia, but was also about breaking limits and thinking beyond what's possible. And that's really what today is about, thriving globally, not just thinking globally. And I do believe you would also definitely agree with me that today or currently we are in a world that is more connected than ever. So ideas, talent, and technology move faster than ever. And to thrive in this environment, it's not just about technical skills. Yeah, for me, it's about having the right mindset, which is open, inclusive, and globally oriented. And also, at least for me, having a global mindset is not just about working in different countries like myself, like all panelists and keynote speaker on their own experiences. It's about collaborating across cultures, building trust across borders, and leading with competence, competence for sure, and compassion in very fast changing world today. So that's really why ECADIN, Energy Academy Indonesia, launched Winners, Women in Energy Transition Leadership, since last year, which is a platform to inspire, to support future leaders across energy.
Recording in progress.
And we focus on advocacy to break barriers, mentorship for advancement, and networking to open new opportunities. So thank you once again for being here with us. So let's enjoy, listen, and ask so many questions and reflect on how we can develop our own global mindset, not just for our personal growth, but also for the growth of our industries and communities. So enjoy the forum and celebrate Kartini spirit. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mrs. Desti Alcano. All right, for the second opportunity, so I would like to invite Mr. Edison Bako as Executive Director at Eurocham Indonesia to give some remarks. To Mr. Bako, the stage is yours.
Okay, good afternoon. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and a warm welcome to today's event, Global Market Thriving in a Borderless World, presented in collaboration with Eurocham and ECADIN in honor of Kartini Day. Today we celebrate not only a national heroine who advocated for women's access to education and equality, but also the ongoing progress and potential of women in shaping modern industries and global leadership. Kartini's legacy reminds us of the importance of inclusiveness in both education and the workplace, and it challenges us to create spaces where women can thrive, innovate, and lead. As we navigate rapid changes in the global economy and the accelerating shift towards sustainability, it is essential to ensure that women are actively included in the energy transition, a sector where representation has been limited. Through initiatives like Winners by ECADIN, we've seen how women can and do take on critical roles in this transformation, contributing not only in technical positions, but also in policy, finance, legal, and leadership roles that guide the direction of a just and inclusive transition. Moreover, in today's interconnected world, women are increasingly taking leadership positions in multinational companies, driving innovation, building global partnerships, and navigating the complexities of international business with adaptability, cultural intelligence, and vision. Fostering diversity and inclusion is not just the right thing to do. It's essential for building resilient and future-ready organizations that can thrive in a borderless world. We hope today's session will be a meaningful platform for shared learning, dialogue, and inspiration. Thank you once again for being here, and we look forward to the perspectives of our distinguished speakers as we continue advancing toward a more inclusive and sustainable future. Terima kasih.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Bako, for the amazing remarks. Okay, everyone, as the word today is defined by interconnectedness, where the ability to adapt, innovate, and collaborate across border is critical to achieving progress, we embrace the spirit of Kartini, who was eager to fight empowerment and inclusivity. Moreover, by looking at today's global condition, I believe that we will face a lot of global challenge. So how can we address and adapt with the global challenge? So let's listen to the keynote speech by Dr. Hetifa Syaifudian, Chairperson of Commission 10 of Indonesia House of Representatives or DPR RI, and Chairperson of Persatuan Insinyur Indonesia Expert Council. So Dr. Hetifa Syaifudian is a senior Indonesian legislator who is dedicated to advancing education, youth empowerment, culture, and innovation. She earned her degrees from Institut Teknologi Bandung, National University of Singapore, and Flinders University. She bridges global actors such as World Bank, ASEAN Development Bank, and European Union with the national needs as the chairperson of Indonesia's Engineer Union Expert Council. Her leadership drive inclusive progress through policy, partnership, and science-driven solution for Indonesia's future. To Dr. Hetifa, the stage is yours.
Good afternoon everyone, selamat sore. Saya merasa sangat bangga dan terhormat bisa berada di tengah-tengah forum yang sangat luar biasa. Saya tadi meminta izin kepada Ibu Carol untuk menggunakan bahasa Indonesia karena kebetulan tadi pagi baru saja melaunching satu peraturan terkait dengan bahasa Indonesia agar kita juga membiasakan anak-anak muda yang juga berkiprah di dunia internasional untuk tetap bangga berbahasa Indonesia. Terima kasih ya, bukan berarti ini meremehkan forum yang sangat luar biasa hari ini. Jadi ibu semuanya, terutama Ibu Desti yang sudah mengundang saya dan jauh di Belanda sana, namun hatinya tetap bersama kita merayakan Hari Kartini yang luar biasa. Dan juga kepada Bapak Edison, terima kasih untuk catatan yang sangat bermakna sekali bagi kami kaum perempuan. Di sini ada beberapa laki-laki yang saya sangat yakini mereka mendukung adanya satu emansipasi yang bermakna bagi kita perempuan yang ada di ruangan sini dan juga yang ada di luar sana. Terima kasih teman-teman para laki-laki hebat semuanya. Pak John Anis ya terutamanya ya. Jadi ketika kita bicara mengenai cita-cita mulia seorang Kartini, ingin menerangi perempuan melalui pendidikan dan juga melalui satu pengetahuan. Nah, apa yang dilakukan Ekadin terkait dengan energi baru yang terbarukan sebetulnya juga adalah satu simbol cahaya baru bagi perempuan, karena perempuan diberi satu kesempatan dan peluang yang lebih besar untuk bisa terkurangi bebannya, untuk bisa dapat hidup lebih sehat, untuk bisa juga lebih berdaya. Jadi mengapa saya sangat ingin sekali mendengarkan para narasumber hari ini mendiskusikan hal ini. Dan walaupun saya berada di Komisi Pendidikan, tetapi sesungguhnya isu energi dan isu-isu yang terkait dengan keberlanjutan adalah isu semua perempuan. Dan apa yang diperjuangkan oleh Kartini termasuk tentunya leadership di berbagai bidang, termasuk bidang energi. Di sini saya melihat ada banyak perempuan yang ternyata sudah begitu mumpuni ya. Ada Ibu Dwi ya, tentu saja Bu Chandra. Bidang energi itu bagi kami dianggap sebagai bidangnya yang sangat maskulin. Saya berada di DPR RI sudah 4 periode, teman-teman semuanya, dan situasi mengalami perubahan. Ketika saya pertama masuk di DPR tahun 2009, saya ingin bergabung di sebuah komisi infrastruktur. Kenapa? Karena saya merasa kompetensi saya sebagai lulusan Institut Teknologi Bandung di bidang tersebut. Tetapi saat itu dari 50 anggota hanya 1 perempuan, dan di fraksi saya para pimpinan tidak mengizinkan seorang anggota baru untuk bergabung di komisi infrastruktur karena komisi itu dianggap komisi yang dalam tanda kutip gitu ya, sangat sulit dan membutuhkan satu kemampuan teknis yang mungkin selama ini perempuan dianggap tidak terbiasa ada di situ. Jadi hanya 1 dari 50 pada waktu itu. Tapi kondisi sekarang sangat-sangat berbeda. Jadi ketika itu perempuan biasanya dikandangi, mungkin Ibu Carol tahu nggak ya, dikandangin atau so we usually join commission that considered as a feminine commission like in education atau health atau mungkin soal pemberdayaan perempuan ya Bu ya. Jadi perempuan itu tidak biasa ada di komisi yang maskulin seperti komisi keamanan, komisi hukum, komisi infrastruktur, komisi energi. Itu adalah komisinya kaum laki-laki. Tapi sekarang bahkan ketua komisi 1 yang baru lalu dan sekarang dia menjadi Menteri Komdij, itu juga adalah seorang perempuan. Jadi tepuk tangan untuk kaum perempuan yang bisa sebetulnya mendapatkan posisi ataupun kesempatan memimpin leadership jika dia diberikan kesempatan. Nah, dalam konteks yang lebih global lagi, saya betul-betul merasa sangat terinspirasi dengan Kartini. Tadi sebenarnya saya sudah siapkan buku setebal ini, buku terbaru tulisan-tulisan Kartini yang ditulis oleh Wardiman dan baru saja didiskusikan, tapi ternyata ketinggalan ya. Tapi dari sana gitu ya kita melihat bahwa seorang Kartini itu dalam konteks global semangatnya tuh menginspirasi gerakan perempuan lain. Nah, jadi saat Hari Kartini yang lalu kami juga lebih dari 120 organisasi perempuan kita upacara di GBK ya waktu itu di lapangan tenis dan berusaha untuk mendorong atau memperjuangkan kesetaraan di berbagai bidang termasuk tentunya pendidikan, ekonomi, dan tentunya tadi lingkungan dan energi juga di bidang dan profesi kita masing-masing. Nah, ada beberapa poin yang ingin secara singkat saya sampaikan terkait dengan pembelajaran dan bagaimana pengalaman kita juga yang ada di ruangan ini masing-masing telah berupaya untuk mewujudkan cita-cita dari Ibu Kartini. Saya sendiri tadi sudah menyampaikan bahwa walaupun saya telah berusaha dan mendapatkan pendidikan yang relatif baik, ternyata tidak mudah untuk saya diberi kesempatan menjadi pemimpin, yaitu memberikan saya mungkin beberapa tahun untuk bisa memberikan satu keyakinan, jadi ada level of acceptance yang lebih tinggi bahwa perempuan juga akhirnya after 2 years saya boleh join komisi 5 tadi teman-teman. Jadi 2 tahun saya berjuang gitu untuk bisa diterima. Dan nah ini yang paling menarik bagi all leaders yang ada di ruangan ini, saya ingin menyampaikan bahwa walaupun dunia sudah lebih terbuka dan akses kita perempuan kepada pendidikan sudah terbuka di berbagai bidang, banyak perempuan lain yang sebetulnya masih terkunci. Rata-rata pendidikan kita di Indonesia lamanya baru 8, sekian tahun. Dan banyak perempuan masih buta huruf atau mereka drop out dari sekolahnya. Kalau kita bicara lagi lebih dalam pendidikan di bidang teknik, perempuan mungkin 1/3 dari laki-laki gitu ya. Dan kalau kita bicara lagi lebih jauh ke soal pendidikan profesi seperti keinsinyuran, hanya 17% dari perempuan yang sudah sarjana teknik dia menjadi insinyur profesional. Nah, belum lagi kita menghadapi diskriminasi di tempat kerja kita. Mungkin ibu-ibu nanti saya pengen dengar ceritanya, Ibu Dwi dan Ibu Carol juga. Tentunya teman-teman yang sudah bekerja di bidang-bidang yang sangat luar biasa ini saya sangat tertarik untuk mendengarkan. Tapi anak saya sendiri, empat anak saya adalah perempuan, empat-empatnya lulus dari sekolah teknik dari ITB. Tapi tidak ada yang, nah tapinya ini. Tapi akhirnya gitu ya, termasuk anak saya yang terkecil, dia adalah lulusan teknik sipil. Dan dia memperlihatkan kepada saya, Mam ini ada lowongan kerja untuk menjadi site engineer seorang sipil, tapi diutamakan pria. Dan akhirnya dia bekerja di L'Oreal Paris sebagai jadi teknik sipil, tapi dia bekerja di dunia kosmetik. Ya, itu bukan sesuatu yang salah juga gitu ya, tetapi hari ini pun gitu ya masih ada situasi yang dihadapi oleh anak-anak kita seperti itu. Gitu ya, termasuk juga ya ada cerita masing-masing dari keempat anak saya ini, tidak semuanya bisa meraih apa yang sebetulnya mereka cita-citakan dan menjadi potensi mereka, Pak Anies. Sorry ya, masih seperti itu. Dan bagi ibu-ibu semuanya yang sangat hebat, ini terakhir, sejatinya kita itu hebat bukan kalau kita berhasil naik ke puncak sendirian, tapi bagaimana kita bisa turut menarik tangan sesama perempuan lain untuk ikut mendaki. Karena tugas kita adalah membukakan pintu, memastikan mengangkat perempuan-perempuan lain bisa berbagi atau sharing ilmu kita seperti hari ini, menjadi mentor bagi adik-adik kita, membimbing mereka, memberikan mereka motivasi positif dan semacam perasaan bahwa mereka itu mampu. Menjadi teladan dan panutan, dan tunjukkan bahwa sebetulnya keberhasilan yang kita dapat sampai menjadi seorang leader itu tidak harus mengorbankan nilai etika maupun empati kita. Itu sebabnya tadi disampaikan, saya baru berapa hari yang lalu, tepat di hari Kartini pada tanggal 21 April, saya dilantik menjadi Ketua Kesatuan Perempuan Partai Golkar seluruh Indonesia. Sebetulnya itu bukan sesuatu yang mudah ya, karena berarti saya harus memastikan bahwa ke depan lebih banyak lagi perempuan-perempuan yang bisa masuk ke dunia politik dengan penuh percaya diri dan ya mereka bisa ikut mempengaruhi, dan tentunya energi maupun bidang-bidang lain yang serupa seperti di dunia politik ini, kita bersama akan advokasikan kesetaraan dan keadilan bagi kaum perempuan. Terima kasih atas waktu yang diberikan kepada saya. Mentari pagi bersinar terang, hangat menyapa bumi yang luas. Semangat Kartini terus berkembang, perempuan hebat berwawasan luas. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat menikmati dialognya.
Baik. To Dr. Hetifa, please remain on the stage. Yeah, I would like to invite Mrs. Chandra Sistama as the COO of Ekadin to give the token of appreciation. Please, the committee, please kindly help. Please, Mrs. Chandra, you can come to the stage. Also, after this session, I would like to invite all the speakers to capture the moment together. Amin. All right, thank you very much. The committee maybe will can be please remain on the stage, Dr. Hetifa and the committee will help with the token of appreciation, I would like to invite all the speakers, Mr. John Anis, Mr. Carol Gal, Mrs. Carol Gal, Mrs. Dwi Murai, and also Mr. Edison to come up to the stage and take a photo together. And after we take the photo with all the speakers, maybe the speaker can go back to the seat. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Is there any specific pose, maybe? Bela negara, Ibu, biasanya. Iya, semangat. Alright. So, okay, thank you very much. Okay, you can go back to the seat. Mungkin rekan-rekan dokumentasi bisa dibantu foto dari atas stage ya. Jadi kita ambil foto dengan seluruh peserta. Memungkinkan nggak ya? Iya, bisa ya. Bisa ya. Jadi tim dokumentasi ambil foto dari stage. Nah, biar baiknya duduk atau berdiri, silahkan. Baiknya gimana? Monggo. Sit. Oh, ya, everyone just be seated. Ya, duduk aja, Bapak dan Ibu. Masuk nggak ya semuanya kalau duduk? Ya, duduk aja ya. Duduk aja. Permisi, saya nyempil di sebelah sini. Baik, terima kasih banyak. Tepuk tangan untuk kita semua. Saya jadinya bilingual ini. Saya izin switch lagi jadi bahasa Inggris ya Bapak dan Ibu. Alright, so thank you very much, Dr. Hetifa, for the amazing keynote speech. And we have already had this amazing speakers already join me here. And on this beautiful day, we will talk about several topics. Lesson from global experience and insight, the power of global mindset, key leadership traits for global success, overcoming challenge in international expansion, and the role of collaborating and networking. So I would like to invite our amazing speakers. Please join me on the stage, Mr. John Anis, CEO of Pertamina New and Renewable Energy. Yeah, please. And then also, and then the second one is Mrs. Chandra Sutama as COO of Energy Academy Indonesia. The third speaker, we have our beautiful Mr. Carol Gal, President of ExxonMobil Indonesia and ExxonMobil Cepu Limited, and ExxonMobil Lead Country Manager. Last but not least, also the most beautiful lady here, Mrs. Dwi Murai, CEO of Jawa Satu Power. Okay, the committee, can you help me with the microphone, please? All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's really nice to have you here in this afternoon. So I would like to read your short bio, and after that, we will start the talk show, okay? So for the first speaker, we have here Mr. John Anis, CEO of Pertamina New and Renewable Energy, who has over 30 years of international experience in the energy sector with roles spanning Asia and Europe. He has served in key leadership positions at Total, Mora and Prom, and Pertamina. Since 2021, he has been leading Pertamina New and Renewable Energy, driving the company's strategic role in Indonesia's energy transition. Also, the second one, we have Mrs. Chandra Sutama, COO of Energy Academy Indonesia, who brings over 20 years of global experience for her career at Slumbersea, where she leads operations, technology deployment, and technical excellence across Asia, Middle East, and also Europe. And she is now as the COO at Ekadin, where she connects global expertise to accelerate energy transition and foster sustainable cross-border partnership. The third one, we have Mrs. Carol Gal, President of Exxon Indonesia and ExxonMobil Cepu Limited, and ExxonMobil Country Manager who has nearly 30 years of experience in energy sector. She has held leadership roles across the UK, US, the Netherlands, Chad, and also Indonesia. She has driven strategic initiative in upstream operation, commercial strategy, and corporate advisory. Her career reflects a strong track record in global energy leadership and advancing the energy transition. Last but not least, we have Mrs. Dwi Murai, CEO of Jawa Satu Power, who is seasoned energy leader with over 20 years of experience in nuclear operation, regulation, performance, and improvement. Now serving as CEO of Jawa Satu Power, she brings global expertise from leadership roles at US utilities, including Constellation, Exelon, and DTE Energy. Her leadership is defined by a strong focus on innovation, safety, and sustainable impact in the global energy sectors. All right, so you have already witnessed our super speakers here. We are very thankful for the speaker who can join us today, and we really appreciate the endless support from Pertamina New and Renewable Energy. Please give a round of applause. Okay, we will start the discussion. So, in a general theme first, right? So, starting from Mr. John first, can you share about your international experience that shaped your personal and career growth? Can you please share to us for at least 2 minutes, sir?
Okay. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm so lucky here because I'm the only guy among the beautiful ladies. But applause for them. And secondly, when I asked if there is a dress code, lucky there is no kebaya, because otherwise I will be in trouble. Yes, happy to be here with great ladies. And before I start, I would like also to express that I'm a big fan of pushing women in diversity world, especially in the energy business. When I was in Total, I was the one pushing the first site manager, women site manager. We managed to have one, and then I initiated to have operator and technician women, and things changed since then, become much better. The men become much more well behaved in general. So yes, I was also lucky that since the beginning I have an opportunity to work internationally, similarly like Ibu Chandra. So I started my career with Schlumberger, and at that time I was assigned first in Japan. So well, it's a completely different world. Completely, it's my first job, and my first also experience abroad. So you can imagine I was a bit lost in the beginning, but at the end of the day, I enjoy it. So one thing that I always said to myself is that I have to challenge myself since the beginning, and I would like to acquire as much experience as possible. And at the time, for me, it's simple. This is the when you have an opportunity for an international career. This is the best time for you to first challenge yourself and to get as much experience as possible. And once you acquire that, I have more confidence to work anywhere else in the world. So that's the mindset that I have at the time. So I think this is also that I would like to share with everyone, that when you're talking about global mindset, of course, you have to open your eyes, open your mind, and you don't limit yourself, and don't underestimate yourself as well. Sometimes you're a bit limiting yourself because you said, better to work here, and you feel comfortable in this place, but actually you have the capability and capacity to work elsewhere, and this is maybe better for you. And sometimes you don't realize, sometimes you would like your comfort zone, but at the end of the day, from my experience, I think it's better to push your limit, at least in the beginning of your career, because that will be the base for you to move forward. After that, maybe you can change your mind, but if you already tried it, you know where you have to go, where you can go, and where you can develop yourself, and once again push to the limit. And I always said that having a certain uh, portion of adrenaline is mandatory, because this is the power that push you to move forward. Because if you don't have adrenaline, you just maybe walk very slow. You never know, and you really surprised when you get, but not too much, because too much you get burned out. So you know what to do, what with you know your limit, but don't yourself always to the limit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, give yourself challenge. Do not underestimate yourself and push yourself to the limit, but not over, right? Not too much. Okay, Mrs. Chandra, can you share your international experience in just 2 minutes?
Thank you. So I started my career just like Pak John in Slumberji. So my first job, I just graduated from chemical engineering of University of Gajah Mada. I came from a small city. My first job, directly international. But not like what you thought. I was assigned in the middle of desert in Yemen. Yes. And my second assignment was also in Abu Dhabi, not in the big city, in the middle of desert also. So and then I move again to Duri, in the middle of sawit plantation, yeah. And then I moved to Aceh in the time of Gerakan Aceh movement. I went to the location with army, yes. So I don't know, it was a curse. I was always in a remote location. I don't know. But yes, it was like what he said. It pushed me to the limit, and it was difficult, of course. And there was always time like I said to myself, I'm going to quit today. And surprisingly, you know what? Today I have my first boss. When I got assigned first in Yemen, we didn't see each other probably for 24 years. Pak Anton, are you here? Pak Anton? Yeah, Pak Anton. Terima kasih. Before I went to the remote location in Masila in Hadramaut, Pak Anton told me, go and buy sanitary pad, pembalut. Okay, this sounds funny, but Pak Anton knows very well nobody sold sanitary pad in the middle of desert in Yemen. So he is amazing. This is the kind of understanding that we need to promote equality. You, as a normal man, you don't say this to a male engineer, right? Of course. But anyway, so this is I spent a good time of my career in the location. It pushed me to the limit, and now I have a feeling that whatever I have challenge I face now, I have faced shittier. So I can't fight with anyone, but I don't want to fight. As you can see, I'm a peaceful person. So yeah, and at the end, I spent career for different countries. I ended up in France, where I decided that I would like to move ahead with my career, and now I'm in Energy Academy Indonesia, still in energy. So that's a short view of my career. The idea is that push to the limit. You can do it. Of course you can do it. I'm just a girl from Yogyakarta, and of course you can do it if I can do it, right? And as you can hear that whatever language I speak, I also speak French somehow, but whatever language I speak with Javanese accent.
All right, thank you, then.
Matur nuwun.
Okay, so beside the ourself, we have faith in ourselves. The important thing that Bu Chandra noted is supportive environment. It is also important for us to grow, right? Keren Pak Anton. Thank you so much. So, Mrs. Carol, please share your experience.
Yes, so selamat sore, selamat Hari Kartini. A few days late. Saya Ibu Carol, saya Presiden ExxonMobil di Indonesia. Saya orang Prancis. We could do this in French, given that everybody's worked in France. And funny enough, I'm French, but I've never worked in France. So I'm here with people who come from different parts of the world who have actually worked for French companies or in France. I've never worked in France, but I am French, and I grew up in France. I've been with ExxonMobil for 30 years now, but I've worked in so many different countries. And what I've learned is no country is the same. Every country has some unique features, some beautiful things, some beautiful approaches to things. And so one size doesn't fit all. And what I've really learned through that experience is diversity is something we should embrace and not fear. You learn so much by looking at how things are being done differently around the world. I have not seen a country that does things perfectly. And so by moving from one country to the next, I see perfection everywhere because I learn how to do things in Indonesia. I've been in Africa. I learn how to do things in Africa. Everybody's doing things differently. There's no right and wrong answer. There's just the right answer is the way to do it in that country. And so I think what I've learned is to value diversity, embrace it, and not fear diversity. Diversity is a really good thing. And then as a leader, I guess now, what I've learned is as a leader you have an opportunity to impact lives of people. And when I reflect on my experience in Chad, in Africa, there was a time where the country was very shaky because the president had just been killed. And everybody was fleeing the country. And one of my employees at the time came to me and asked me not to leave because he was concerned that if ExxonMobil was to leave Chad, then everybody would read that an American company is leaving Chad, therefore it's not safe. And I made the decision to stay when everybody else was leaving the country. And I feel so good about that decision, and I felt that if I was leaving the country, I would impact lives of so many people in the country, and I just didn't want to do that. But through that experience, I learned that as a leader, the decisions that you make, they don't just impact you, they impact your teams, they impact the communities that you interact with. And as the theme is around energy transition and so on, the decisions that we make today don't just impact us, they impact many generations to come.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Carol. Yeah, I like this term from Mrs. Carol. So in Indonesia we say, di dunia ini tidak ada yang benar-benar benar. Yang ada hanya bentuk ideal. So don't be afraid to take any decision because our decision can impact to lots of people, right? Okay, Mrs. Dwi Murai, can you share your international experience,
Certainly,
please?
yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Selamat Hari Kartini. So I'll try to make it brief here, at least since we only have 2 minutes. But I want to share some salient points for my global experience. So I left for the U.S. right after I graduated from high school. Apparently, Dr. Hanifa and I are actually from the same alma mater. We went to the same high school. I just found that out today. So thank you for leading the charge that way. So I went to the U.S. I went to start my studies in mechanical engineering. That's where I got my degree. And during my course in the university, I have an opportunity to do internship. And the internship was at a nuclear plant. Never heard of one, never seen one. And then I said, why not? Truly, why not? We don't have one in Indonesia, and I can learn something new. So that's really how my nuclear professional career started, and I never really looked back. I spent 25 years in the nuclear industry. I lived in the U.S. for 28 years. I just recently returned in September of last year, so I've been with Jawa Satu Power for 8 months. So I will give a hand here to Pak John Anis, being truly an ally of women, seeing the potential in me that gave me the opportunity to be where I am today. Throughout my journey, though, I have to say that my biggest allies were men. In the sense that, but you have to take a part in it. Your part in it is have the courage to say and do what you want. You have to say it. You have to materialize it, because people cannot read minds from that perspective. So I have the courage to do that, right? And try, and don't be afraid to fail. Okay? Failure is really a part of learning. From my experience, that's how you show growth, because you really don't know how you would react until you have failed. You know you're better than what you think you are. So we've mentioned about you're enough, essentially. Do not underestimate yourself. That's, to me, where failure comes in from that perspective, because that's when you learn. So self-awareness is a big piece. Nuclear professionals are very, we are taught to be very accountable. I think so. A lot of the traits and behaviors of today is really what I learned within the industry. There's a set of guidance in how we are expected to behave as nuclear professional. Safety, in particular nuclear safety, is the utmost importance. It overrides everything else because of the dire consequences it has and the impact it has once you have an accident. It starts small. It starts in every individual from a behavior perspective. So really my message here from my experience is have the courage to try something new. Don't be afraid of failure, and then look for those allies that's going to support your dreams.
Once again from you that I note, yeah? Thank you. Please give clear communication, yeah, because if we talk clearly to our peers, to our supervisor, it will help them to accommodate what do we really need, right? Okay, so we are going to I would like also to share about the challenge that you have already overcome during your professional career, starting from Mrs. Dwi, I think. Yeah.
So I some challenges are fairly similar. I think we face still today when we look at the I call it the small number, and women are minorities within a men dominated fields. Energy is one of them from that perspective. You know, it starts when I was in college, in university. You know, you have a class of 20, and I would be one or two females in it. So similar to Dr. Hanifa's story too. So how I overcame some of those challenges, again, is really have the belief in yourself that you know you can do it, right? You are enough. And the only person you have to prove is yourself. It's not other people. You cannot control what other people think of you, right? You can only control yourself and your behavior, how you are going to act from that perspective. So I think maybe most women have to do this, feel they have to, or have done it. What I have done, I pretty much, I always do my homework, right? I always have to be prepared. Preparation for me in planning is what helps me be successful from that perspective. It's also meaning that you are proactive, you think ahead from that perspective. There's an infinite scenarios as you come into challenge what your strategies are going to be, but know that what fits you as a person, be your authentic self. And then I would say from a challenge perspective too is having allies. You know, have your network of your most trusted, I call it advisors, truly. Men and women lead very differently. And there's nothing wrong with the way women lead, right? I think what I've noticed in leadership too, the sense of empathy is probably something specific that most women have from that perspective. I know men has it too, but I think it's our experiences as females that give us more of the edge from that perspective. The emotional intelligence that we bring to the table as leaders it's unique. And there's nothing wrong with diversity because that's where you are going to achieve your strongest, I think, the most impactful decision making in that standpoint. So look for your advisors, your trusted ones, develop your networking, and find your allies, and always believe in yourself.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Dwi Murai. Okay, Mrs. Carol, what is the challenge of the international experience related to the cultural differences that you have already overcome?
Funny enough, for me, the biggest challenge I've had is not so much gender related, it's cultural. And Indonesia has been my biggest challenge because I've had a 30-year career, and 27 years of my career have been in very direct countries. And then I came here with my very direct style. And I think the way you're reacting says it all. It doesn't work here. And so I'm trying to soften, but it's so hard to undo your culture. You know, the French culture is very direct. In my family, when something is not right, we say it's not right. And I do remember in Indonesia once I was speaking at a conference and I was asked what Indonesia could do for ExxonMobil to invest even more. And I had a 3-minute slot, and I probably said really nice things for more than 2 minutes. And then the last 30 seconds, I gave constructive ideas on what Indonesia could do. The next day in the newspaper, the headline was, ExxonMobil president thinks that we need to fix this. So they just focused on the 30 seconds of constructive feedback. And so that's still something that I'm adjusted to. But the first thing is awareness. You need to be aware that you're different and you need to adjust. And that awareness is a two-way street, you know. I'm hoping that the people I'm working with understand that it's not easy. I cannot find a switch from direct to less direct. And so I'm doing my best. But that's been the biggest challenge. From a gender perspective, I embrace diversity. I actually think that being different is a strength. Because when you're different, you stand out. And I've been in many rooms where I'm the only woman around the table, the only women. But then people remember my name. And then people give me the best seat. And then people are very thoughtful about how they deal with me because they don't want me to feel uncomfortable. And so what I've found is diversity is actually a strength if you see it this way. And don't let that hold you back. I mean, if you start feeling uncomfortable, uneasy because you're different, I think you're not taking advantage of diversity. I think when you're different, you just need to say, well, okay, I'm different, so I can bring something new to the table. If we were all the same, number one, the world would be very boring. But number two, the decisions we would make, the solutions we would find may not be the right solutions. Because diversity brings much better solutions than when you have people who just think the same way. And so I embrace diversity. For me, that's not a challenge. That's an opportunity. That's a strength.
So probably I have the opposite of you. So after 20 years being a Javanese girl who is where being gentle and being indirect is highly prized. Like when you don't agree with something, you cannot say, no, I don't agree. You say like, you have to go left and right before you say, you disagree. Yeah? So here I am, this young girl who arrived in the Middle East and being sweet. And when you disagree with something, you say, yeah, but actually, blah, blah. No, 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 no. It is not the way. I can tell you, it is not the way. So it was hard for me in the beginning. On top of that, my English was kind of so-so. Yeah. No, I didn't, of course, I spoke good English. My, what do you call it? My score was good, but it's different. Living English and filling up some papers in English are not the same thing. So I have to, even when I talk, I have to first think in Japanese, and then translate to Indonesian, and then translate to English. So it's kind of slow, right? On top of that, I have to think how to say no in a nice way. So it's the opposite of what Ibu Carol experienced as a Japanese woman. But of course, you continue live with it, and then of course people left and right, they say like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And then finally, you grow. And it's, but of course you don't give up and say like, oh, this is too difficult for me, I want to go back to Indonesia. Of course, continue and being persistent, and no, they are not going to beat me, no. So that's about culture, and it is true that Indonesian culture is very sweet. You have to say no in a different way, and it is sometimes not compatible with other cultures, but sometimes it's also compatible with other Asian culture. And another thing is being a woman. I sometimes feel that, especially if you are very young woman, you are not being seen as an expert in the room. You are not being seen as an engineer, but you are seen as a young woman instead of being seen as an engineer in the room or an expert in the room. However, what I feel that my most difficult time as a woman in the engineering world, where the environment is very masculine, is actually when I have child. Because basically the company thinks that, okay, we support diversity, we support you women, okay, you have child, you are tired, you didn't sleep the whole night, you have to very good, continue working as usual. Yeah. We support you, but continue working as usual. Yeah, so that's something that I think has to be. Of course, now I'm seeing a lot of different approach right now. But actually, this very difficulty when I become a mother is actually what really drove us to create women in energy transition leadership, because we want. Being woman is actually bringing a different perspective. What do you say? It's actually bringing edge to business. Is not a drawback. And I'm also lucky to have to see a lot of men supporting women who understand this.
I think it's already very complete. I got nothing to say with all the amazing comments from all the ladies. I think I would say the biggest challenge for me is yourself. I think the tendency of being comfortable in your comfort zone, that's the biggest challenge. This is also I would like to share, because I mean, diversity, we from Indonesia, we support diversity, and I think we believe in that, and when it's managed properly, we take the best out of each, it's very powerful. But on the other hand, if you manage badly, then the other way around. I think that, well, I would like to share my own experience. I could see some of the people tend to be in their comfort zone. And once again, that's why I said challenge yourself, and you don't underestimate. Sometimes you don't believe also in yourself, because you see, it's too hard, maybe I cannot do it. And you know, simple things. When you would like to be global and borderless, you have to act concretely. And in this case, I don't know, I'm sure Carol have a lot of experience on this. We tend to mingle with our own people. I'm not saying it's not good, it's good, but when you are with others, push yourself, you mingle with others. Don't just gather with your people from, it's good to be with all Indonesians. You speak your own language, but then you don't become a global citizen. You don't push yourself, you don't mingle with them, you don't understand their culture, and you don't become part of them because they also would like to see whether you could adapt to the situation. That's the limit in yourself. So the biggest challenge is always coming from us in this case. My experience is always like that. We tend to be in our comfort zone. We mingle with ourselves. I appreciate that to speak Indonesia and we have to promote Indonesian. Ibu, I will support that. But in the case on the diversity, globalization, borderless, language for me is a door, not only the language itself, is a door to understand the culture of others. And the understand culture of others is the key of success, one of the key of success. If you don't understand the culture of others, it will be difficult. And one way is to speak their language. Maybe I'm more French than Ibu Carol because I worked 5 years in France, in the middle of nowhere, you know, in the city in which there are more ducks than people, in southwest of France. But I enjoy it because I could be part of them. I mingle with them. What amazed me is that I'm the only Indonesian family among others, and they embrace me as if I'm part of them. And you know, like in Indonesia, we have like 17-an. It's the national, they have a parade during the summer. They have a summer festival, and we do carnival. And you know what? I was part of the team. I was part of the. They invite me like in the RT panitia, discuss together what is the time of day and how to do it. So we are part of them. So really, you know, we and amazing. Paris is not France. Yeah. It's completely different. But when you're in a very small city, they are very kind. You become part of them if you can adapt with them. And they're very open, very friendly. So it's become like a family. There was Aceh at that time, the tsunami. Almost everyone come to my house to say that, oh, I am really feel bad about what happened in Indonesia. Well, luckily I don't have a family over there. It's far from my house, but everybody think I have a big problem with my family, you know. Everybody came and say, I'm sorry, so what could I help, you know. It's really become, so this is the things in which when you really mingle and adapt with the culture, you become part of them, and it become easy for you to contribute and to perform. So for the people that going for expatriation, for example, I always tell them that one of the key success is adaptation. You have to adapt yourself. Not only yourself at work, but also your family. Because if your family cannot adapt, then you cannot work properly. So, but means that you have to open mind, you have to mingle, you have to understand other culture. It's not easy. You have to push yourself. You have to put a lot of effort in yourself itself. So I agree with Ibu Dewi Murai that you have to find a strategy on how to do it. Believe in yourself. Find alliance, or maybe other things that make you somehow comfortable with that because you need it anyway. So once again, the biggest challenge is yourself. So push yourself. Thank you.
Push yourself. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, so I want to specifically to Mrs. Carol Gao. So why do you think diversity is important in an organization, and what is your leadership strategy to drive this diversity in your company?
So, I mean, I work in the energy industry, and we have huge opportunities and also challenges in the industry, but the decisions we make impact everybody. I mean, if we don't have gasoline, if we don't have energy, we don't have light, everything we do impacts the standard of living of people. And so we need the brightest people in our industry. We need the best talent. And if you think about students, about 50% of them are men and about 50% are women. And so in the industry, we need to look for talent without limiting ourselves to 50% of the students. And so I think by opening up the aperture and looking for talent, whether it's men, whether it's women, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of religion, we have the best chance of finding talent. And we do need the talent in the industry. We have so many opportunities to work on. So I do believe that if your mission is to find the best talent, you do need a diverse workforce. That's a must. And then, you know, I've been in the industry now for 30 years, and what I've noticed is when you bring people who are different in the room, they bring different perspectives. And so if you only bring the same people in the room, they will say things one way, when in reality, if you bring people who are, say, caring, with people who are structured, there's going to be a really good debate in the room as to what's the right solution. And that debate is healthy to try to get to the best solution. And so diverse teams bring the best solutions.
Very. So the important thing is also discussion, right? So just say what is in your mind, and let's find the solution, the best solution for the problems, right? Okay. So for Budwi, actually the same question. So why do you think diversity is important, and how your leadership strategy can drive this kind of diversity?
Yeah, so it very similarly to what Ibu Carol said, right? So if I focus on what results and what solution I'm looking for, you can't just have yes people, right? You become a group thinker from that perspective. It's really all about critical thinking, right? Diversity brings critical thinking because everybody has their own perspective that is based on their own experiences. So when they share, that's really where you're gonna win, because it's not about who's right, it's about what's right. So what is, and that's when you know you have the common vision and the common goal. So some of the strategies for me is really creating a safe space. What I mean by a safe space is a psychological safe space where people can truly be themselves and be able to speak up with their ideas without being judged, right? And as the leader in the room, you are going to have, and this happens almost all the time, right? You have the more outspoken person with the strongest personality that will drown out those who are much more quiet, and they typically have the best ideas. So do you recognize that as a leader? Because it's really not about what you say, it's about how you collectively encourage your team to collaborate and really speak out on their ideas. So you have to kind of pinpoint those individuals. It's not about putting them on the spot, it's really about drawing out of them. So you really have to pay attention to your team that way, right, and their personalities. So those are some strategies that I've implemented that has been successful from that perspective, is really boiled down to knowing your team, knowing what their personalities, what motivates them, and also there's a certain way you need to ask the questions, right? I think having the common goal and the same purpose is really what drives collaboration within a team.
Creating the safe zones, and so they can be themselves to, you know, give the best version of themselves to their work. Okay, thank you very much. So I would like to go to Mrs. Chandra. Why do you think having a global mindset is important? What are the disadvantages if we don't have the global mindset?
So globalization is not anymore an idea. It's not a choice, it's a fact. So whatever business you are on, whatever organization you are in, whether you are in a commercial business, whether you are in not-for-profit like Energy Academy Indonesia, you cannot work in silo. You need to work with other partners, and you cannot limit yourself inside a silo. Technology is everywhere in the world. Talented people are everywhere in the world, and we need to work together. When you talk about climate change, whether you are an emitter, whether you are extremely green, whether you are extremely polluting, you are going to be impacted by climate change. So this is one example. So we need to work together as a global citizen to whatever we do, whether it's growing our business, whether it's for environment, whether it's for energy transition, everything is in a global scale right now. And the more you hear as what we are, as we are today, we are reading every day about what US is doing, what China is doing, what Europe is doing, and it's kind of funny. And then we know that this world is super interconnected. Whatever you are doing, you are impacted by geopolitics and global interactions. So yes, you have to be a global citizen, you have a global mindset. If you are not ready, or if you don't understand today what is happening in another part of the world, you are going to be drawn. And especially if you are leading a business and you don't know what is happening in the world, this is for sure. You are going to be out in the next 5 years. So this is how important it is to have a global mindset. And especially for the younger generation, in the past, you can be, Indonesia is such a beautiful place, beautiful beaches, 270 million people. But no, you cannot be living peacefully in Indonesia if you don't know what is happening in the global stage.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Chandra. So the last question for Mr. John is, sorry.
No problem.
Because
I will try.
Okay, so we have already talked about the global mindset, having diversity in our teams. So, what do you think the importance of international networking? And with those kind of network, how can you foster collaboration?
Yeah. So I think first of all, this one also linked with the globalization, as just mentioned by Ibu Chandra, that I think this is the fact of the life already, the situation with all the technology that we have. The world is interconnected. And you can see right now, even if maybe the war is between Uncle Donald and Xi Jinping, but we are here, eh? So we get the impact. Like it or not, what happened in other part of the world could influence us, especially with the technology. You see in the internet world, in the IT world, it's already completely borderless. And in fact, maybe our new generation, the Z and A generation, they are maybe more already interconnected. They have a friend everywhere in the world, right? It's already borderless. So that's why internationalization is also part of it, in which you have to once again, if you don't be left behind, if you will be living in the cave, then you have to follow these things. And international network is very important, especially in our business today. Once again, I'm lucky that I have an opportunity of international exposure almost half of my career, whether we total in France, in Yemen as well. It's a nice country, by the way. Not in the middle of the desert, by the way. And other part of the world, Japan. So with this, once again, I have an open mind, and understanding the culture is always also helping on how to link with them. I had some, maybe Ibu Carol is the same, tough negotiation in Iraq, tough negotiation in Algeria. They are completely different culture. If you don't understand their culture, forget about negotiating with them, because in this case you have to build the empathy. You have to understand how they are thinking and everything. And luckily, in these two negotiations, we managed to get the deal, and that's because of this international exposure plus international relation. So the more you have the link today internationally, the better it is, especially in our new and renewable energy, in which things change very fast, and it's tough. It's interesting. For example, you're talking about hydrogen. So hydrogen is not an easy subject today. It's still not economic. It's difficult to find the off-taker. To produce also, the technology is evolving a lot. So in this case, you have to collaborate. You cannot do it alone. Collaborate with other partners, collaborate with the government as well. So this needs, of course, the international network that you have to build, because maybe China have one technology, but maybe US or France have the other one. When we are talking about nuclear, for example, in France a lot of nuclear technology, but also in the US, but also other part of the world. If you don't, let's say embrace this you cannot survive, or maybe some other will take your place. So it is very important, and having the global mindset, borderless, and believe in the diversity, that it is the powerful things for us to move forward is important, because the diversity, I think, is the fact also of the nature. You see the nature, we are completely different, from very simple things. Why you ask why we are different, but imagine there is one, like COVID last time, one problem of disease because of different, ethnic, different genetic and everything. Human being will still be there, right? Because of this diversity. But at the same time, sometime I see this small sign. I don't know. We have also to be together. When there is a mix, married mix, normally the children, they're either handsome or beautiful, right?
I don't know. How about this? Mrs. Chandra? Maybe Mrs. Chandra can answer it.
So this is the sign that you have to mix for me. So it become also another powerful genetic new generation. So yeah, the diversity is very, if you think from positive point, is very fun, very powerful, very good, and with mixture of, and you combine with your international network and everything, I think you can move forward also your company and yourself. So yes.
Yeah, okay, Pak Jon. I will come back to you, but at the very last question, so I would like to ask these beautiful ladies. So in your point of view, beautiful ladies, if women wants to build an international career by paying attention to issues of diversity and resolve global energy transition and sustainability, what should they prepare? Maybe starting from Mrs. Chandra first. What should they prepare?
If you want to go international in energy transition or whatever métier or domain you want, the first thing that you need to do is you need to be really good. Whatever you do, whether you study science, whether you study engineering, whether you study law, politics, you need to be really good at what you are doing. You need to be top-notch, and that is actually true for everything. You need to be top-notch. Once you are top-notch, and then you need to excel. And then after that, so that people cannot say that she is not good enough. So she is good, you are good. And then second is language. It is, unfortunately, you need to master the language. You cannot be like me, thinking in Japanese and then to Indonesian and then to, no. You need to be fluent, and then of course it cannot come just like this. You need to practice, right? And then after that, number 3, that what everybody here self, you need to believe in yourself, because it doesn't matter you are a man or a woman. It really doesn't matter. If you are good, you can communicate yourself and you believe in yourself and you are not afraid, of course you can do it. Are you going to fail? Yes, you are going to fail. You continue. You fail again, you continue again. I think that's the, and of course, international network, like what we discuss here. This is why we have this. This is how Energy Academy Indonesia is, because we are a network of diaspora of Indonesia in Europe, in the US, in Indonesia, in every part of the world. We can help you. You are interested? Let us know. We can help you what you want to do. But again, we cannot help you if you're not good. Yeah. Thank you.
Mrs. Carol, please.
Yes, so I think you nailed it when you said, what do you need to prepare? Because I do think you cannot improvise a move abroad. I think you do need to prepare. You need to have the language skills, for sure. You need to do some homework on the culture. What culture are you moving into? And you need to try to understand the norms, what is right, what is not right. And I think you do need passion. If you're going abroad, you need to have a dream that you're chasing. because it's not going to be always easy. You know, you go abroad, your family may be behind. At times, you're going to feel a little bit homesick. And if you don't have that dream, that passion that you're chasing, you may be tempted to go back quickly. And so you need to have a drive, you know, something that you're chasing, your North Star, where you're thinking, yeah, that's what I want. That's why I'm going abroad. And if you do that, it's really worthwhile. I mean, I started the journey 31 years ago out of France, and my ambition was to go to England and then come back to France, because that's where my family is. And I never went back to France, you know? 31 years back to back to back, going to some very interesting places. And I've learned so much, and I love the lifestyle so much. But if you had asked me 31 years ago if I would ever be in Indonesia, I would have said, no, you're crazy. And I love Indonesia so much. I've been here for 3 years, and I've met fantastic people. The food is amazing. The nature is amazing. Scuba diving is amazing. And so it's really worthwhile when you make the effort. But it's hard work. And so you need that passion, that dream that you're chasing.
Okay, thank you very much. Budwi?
I'll try not to repeat what's already said, but I think having the conviction is the one way you prepare, right? Language is certainly a must, and then I go back to Ibu Chandra saying about be really good. Know that you're really good, and you have to show it, right? I learned in the beginning of my career that, you know, there's this perception that I have, and again, early on, is like, well, if I just do my job, it'll show itself. No, because I've seen enough people pass me by from that perspective, right? So, but that experience taught me in the sense that it's not being arrogant. It's really about being confident in what you can do and show it to people, and be consistent about it, right? So, believe in yourself is certainly a must, but truly having that conviction and that drive, like Ibu Carol is saying. So, for me, as I prepare myself to leave Indonesia to go to the U.S., now in reverse, I call it's the same thing, right? The only work experience I had is all in the U.S. So as I prepare myself here, is practicing my patience, as John always gently reminds me from that perspective, right? Try not to be so direct, because people take it very differently. And then I go back and my self-awareness really brings me back to the fact that we're all differently. We're all different people, and we have to learn how to communicate with each other. There's a way you can communicate to get what you want. There's a way you can say no without saying no from that perspective. But you also have to take the time to understand the other side. So really have an open mind. I think that's really my message here. And then I was lucky enough to be able to convince my husband, who's born, raised in America, same thing with my 2 children, that, we'll have such a great experience. I want them to learn about the other half of them, basically, from their perspective. And I think they're coming around. I think my children are pretty much the bigger piece of that, from that aspect. So I think I want them to see that, and then to me, that's a way for me to prepare them to become global citizens. The world just doesn't revolve about what you see outside, because it's very different, right? Our experiences are different, and I think that's really what shapes us to be a contributing human being from that perspective.
Okay, thank you very much. Pak John. By not repeating the answer from these beautiful ladies, please, because I want to see from the from
My
the
life is
perspective
difficult
from
today.
the man, yeah. Because sometimes when you see your peers, women peers, sometimes like you see different points of view. So what kind of advice that maybe you can give to the women out there to prepare themselves?
Yeah. First of all, for Ibu Chandra, so from Sundanese, Japanese is very good, because you speak Japanese. Japanese, not Japanese, because it's difficult to say V, yeah? Speak. No, just kidding. No, I think once again it's coming back to diversity. I completely agree that diversity is that you can maximize the resources without thinking about either it's gender, nationality, whatever it is. You just focus on, let's say, competencies, experience. On the other hand, I'm why I'm a promoter also on diversity, especially in gender. Why? Because I believe that nobody is perfect, and there there is a very interesting complementary between men and women, and really believe in that. Leadership between men and women is different, but when we work together, it's very strong. Take an example in safety, for example. I think the approach of men and women is completely different, but if you mix together, because we sometimes is too, too harsh, and maybe it's not touching their heart, but the women can, in such a way, in safety approach, can touch the people heart and mind easier compared to men. And when you combine this, it's very powerful. So I believe in that, and that's why I just give a very sample, concrete but simple and silly example. In one of our site in the past, it's only men. In the restaurant, there is no waitress. It's all waiter, all men. When they serve us, it's like they have the plate and this is for you. Okay, I exaggerate, but almost like that. And one day we have a expatriate from the UK, a women site manager. The waiter, they become very, with the tie, and they serve everyone very well after that, because they want to get the credit from the, you know, it's just a simple things that since then they serve us much better, much cleaner. The hygiene, for example, we have sometimes we don't really care, but when the site manager, this is not clean, this is, the hygiene has become much better. You see, the impact is concrete. So I believe on that. So when you mixed it properly, it's very powerful. So that's why I also believe that having, the one that I mentioned, the technician and operator women coming from locals. They are local from directly from our, French. And the funny thing is that, I believe that people have a good potential everywhere in the world. The only difference that they don't maybe have lucky enough to have a good school compare us maybe in Java or Jakarta. So at that time I didn't want to reduce the quality, so I improved their quality by giving 2 months what we call the a companion bimbingan test, free for them. 2 months intensive English, mathematics, everything to bring their level up. Once their level is up, at that time we ask them to compete, to do the test with other from other cities, and they could compete, and they passed the test. And you know what? Out of this, most of the high rank are women. The men, I don't know, they're lazy enough, or they play too much and play the game, whatever. But the best graduates is most of the time women. So having this, and they become a good operator, they become a good technician. The only things that we couldn't manage so far is for mechanical, because it's difficult. It's still, they need to open the key and everything. It's very, still maybe later on. But for electrician, instrumentation, operator, we have it, and they work very well. And the men become the big brother to help them, and they become a complementary things. And as I mentioned, the work become much better when they work together as a complementary. So once again, I think the diversity, especially in gender diversity, it's very good. And because nobody's perfect, and there are some competence that women and men are complementary, in which when we combine together good, it's very, very powerful.
Proud? Okay, so for women, every one of us should be, don't be afraid of something happen out there, because actually we have the same capability, can I say? Yeah, we have the same capability, ability, and also we can compete also with everyone out there. So having a global mindset and also international with working is very important, because if we challenge ourselves, we push ourselves to the limit, but so we can, build a better world especially during the global energy transition. Okay, thank you very much for all the speakers. Please give big applause. So I would like to open one round of Q&A session. Please, maybe two quick question from the audience. Please raise your hand highly, Miss. Okay, one more, maybe one person more. Okay, just please quick question.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Pak John. We've just had a meeting this afternoon, Pak John.
So it seems that the meeting hasn't over yet.
So,
Okay, all right. Please.
so I'm Mirna from Pertamina and New and Renewable Energy. Pardon my English, first of all, because I came from Yogyakarta. So the same as Ibu Chandra, I need to translate twice in my mind before I can communicate my idea. So I want to ask for the ladies speakers. I'm sorry, Pak John. So we have in Pertamina a woman organization or woman community called Pertiwi. So we want to empower and then motivate women employees, especially in Pertamina, to level up their self and then become a leader in the company. However, sometimes it's quite difficult or challenging to motivate them because sometimes they think that the sacrifice is not worth the reward in their mind. So can you suggest how we can motivate them that they need to do this despite the sacrifice that they might face. So probably if we go higher, then we have a lot of sacrifice in our side and for the family, right? Probably we have to be ready 24/7 for Pak John to call. So that kind of things. How do you motivate a woman peer to go further, to go higher? How can you suggest how to motivate them? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe I should start with Bu Dwi, right? Yeah. How to convince the women that they can achieve everything despite of all the sacrifice.
Ibu Mirna, thank you for the question. I think it's a very good question. So I've been in the situation before, right? So when we talk about sacrifice, I think it's important to define what sacrifice looks for you, for your peers. So when you think about that, if you look at yourself as a VP, right? Think about how if you want to motivate others, is share your experience. How did you overcome your challenges? You can term it as sacrifice if you like from that perspective, but to me, it's because without the example, real life concrete example, it just becomes words because it is not a practice that you can implement and you see the result of. So a lot of it, at least in nuclear, when I was part of, again, women in nuclear, we share a lot of those experiences. What they want is tried and true methods, right? And I think for you to be able to pair yourself up with your peer, whether that share the same vision and the same goals, and they need to know what their goals are. Everything comes with a sacrifice. I call it more of a compromise. It's truly a compromise. Only individuals can decide what they're willing to compromise. And once they know what they're willing to compromise, and you can support them that way with different examples from yourself and how you overcome those challenges. That's what works for me. But the goal has to be clear. What's their goal in their career and how they can get there? The clearer, the better, right? Because you can put so many ideas, but without concrete examples, it's really not going to happen. Those are what I experienced, those are what I shared, and some have implemented, some of the mentees that I've had in the US, and to me, that's what works the best.
Yeah, thanks for the question. And your English from Yogyakarta is excellent. My French English understood your English very well. I think it's really important for people to understand that a successful career is a career that makes you happy. And it's not a status, you know. It's what will make you happy. So if you feel you cannot be happy being the president of an oil and gas company or energy company, then that's probably not the right career for you. And so I come back to that because in my case, I know what makes me happy. Family, sports are important, and I prioritize these things above work. And so I block time in my calendar for these things, and that's my time. And my team knows it. There are times where I'm not going to be reachable because I like to go running, and the last thing I want is to have a phone call when I'm running. Weekends I like to spend with family, and I make time for it, and it's non-negotiable. Because if I start compromising on that, then I'm not going to be happy, and then I'll be less effective at work. And so I'm a true believer that you need to prioritize what makes you happy, and then work comes next. And if you do that, at least in my case, by doing that, I've been much more effective at work. Early part in my career, I was really focusing on work, and you almost burn out. I mean, at some point, you kind of say, well, hang on, that's all I do. And I think the aha moment I had in my career was to realize that happiness is what matters. And so just prioritize what's important to you. And if what's important to you is to spend time with your kids, make sure you make the time to be with your kids. And you'll be much more effective in your career if you do it this way. And I've said it a few times within ExxonMobil in Indonesia, I don't reward people for the hours they spent in the office. In fact, when I see people work from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m., I'm wondering if they're that effective at what they do. I reward people on the work that they do and the decisions that they make, but not the amount of hours they spent in the office or the amount of work they put in during the weekends. And work-life balance is extremely important.
How to motivate them? First of all, I totally agree with you. A successful career is a career that makes you happy. Not everyone wants to be again a director of ExxonMobil. So what makes you happy? This is supposed to be clear. But I also agree that if you actually think that being a leader will not make you happy because you see that the leader up there are suffering, they do not have a personal, they don't have a work and life balance, then it's a problem with the organization actually. So unfortunately, as a leader, you have to give a good example that work, there is time for work and there is time for life, because if you do not have life, then you cannot do work. This is normal. We all have a limit. We cannot work all the time, because at the end you cannot work. You will not be able to work. Your body just has a limit, and your mind also has a limit. So it is important to set the balance, and it is extremely important, therefore, to have role models, and having the pipeline of women to be later leaders are extremely important. That's why it is important to have a steady pipeline of women leaders in the pool of talent that later can be leaders. That is extremely important to have that pool of talent of women leaders that have to be cultivated, because sometimes an organization hire a lot of women and then forget to cultivate those women, and finally there is not enough leaders on the top. When there are not enough women leaders on the top, the organization becomes unbalanced and everything is seen from the male point of view. which is not good for men and women. I believe if something is good for women, it will be good for men and women. It will be welcoming for everyone, for human, because it's balanced. Our earth is 50-50 men and women. So if organization is wholly dominated by men or dominated by women, it's not going to be balanced, and then at the end it's not good for human. I think that's what I believe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, please give big applause. Yeah, okay, for everyone who have a question, I'm so sorry because we have a very limited time. You can deliver your questions to the speaker during the networking session. Okay, so after this, we are having a Slido, a quiz, ya. Saya izin pakai bahasa Indonesia, Bapak dan Ibu. Kita ada quiz untuk rekan-rekan yang ada di sini. Panitia yang ada di Zoom, apa boleh join juga nggak? Boleh join juga nggak untuknya? Oh, nggak bisa ya? Oh, karena hadiahnya on-site ya. Jadi untuk yang ada di sini aja. Baik, mungkin bisa dibantu ya dari panitia. Di sini bisa kelihatan nggak ya? Baik, okay. So we have already prepared some quiz. Kalau tidak salah ada 3 nomor quiz ya, 3 soal yang nanti bisa dijawab. Ya ini agak miring-miring sedikit ya Bapak dan Ibu, nggak apa-apa ya. Oke, mungkin kita tunggu 1 menit ya untuk semua orang bisa bergabung dan turut meramaikan kuis ini. Iya. Iya. Iya, siapa tahu menang. Hadiahnya spesial dari Paris. Rekan-rekan ya, tepuk tangan dulu dong. Ya, acara ini tidak akan terselenggara tanpa adanya support dari Pertamina New and Renewable Energy. Baik, kita pantau dari sini. Panitia mohon dibantu ya. Apabila sekiranya sudah cukup, kita bisa langsung mulai kuisnya ya. Baik, 30 detik lagi Bapak dan Ibu. Iya. Sampai sudah cukup banyak. Bagi yang mengalami kendala mungkin bisa di-refresh. Oke. Sudah join semua ya? Oke. Kita hitung mundur. 5, 4, 3, 2. Sudah bisa? 1. Oke, kita mulai kuisnya. Silahkan. Pertanyaannya. Ya mudah-mudahan rekan-rekan yang di situ bisa melihat ya terkait pertanyaannya. Ya.
According to history,
Thank
Kartini
you very
was
much.
interested to study what in the Netherlands? Physics, medicine, engineering, or art and history?
Ooh. Thank you Bu Chandra for helping me. It's just too small from here. I'm on the edge, so. Oke. Ya, dan jawaban yang benar adalah wah, yang sudah salah di nomor pertama, aduh. Oke, kita lanjut ke nomor pertanyaan yang kedua, silahkan. Ya.
Which country has the largest number of Indonesian diaspora living in it? China, USA, the Netherlands,
The largest
or Indonesia?
Indonesia's diaspora. Ini benar-benar menguji apakah kita semua di sini punya global mindset, ibu-ibu ya. Oke, let us check. Oh, dan jawabannya adalah
No. Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Even the panelists got them wrong.
Oke, pertanyaan terakhir ya Bapak dan Ibu ya. Kata Bapak dan Ibu, tahu gitu sebelum kesini belajar saya. Baik, pertanyaan terakhir ya Bapak dan Ibu, silahkan panitia. Ya.
What is the main goal of energy transition?
What is the main goal of energy transition?
Use more local fossil fuels to avoid imports, rely on nuclear and gas for long-term energy, switch to clean energy like solar and wind, and use energy more fairly and efficiently, stop using coal and oil right away to protect the planet. That's
Ya, ini
easy.
kalau ini Pak John nggak boleh jawab nih. Kalau partnernya Pak John nggak bisa jawab, wah, next meeting kayaknya dihukum ya Pak. Oke, dan jawabannya adalah,
Switch to
hampir
clean energy, like solar and wind
benar.
and use energy
Memang
more
pejuang
fairly and
global
efficiently.
energy transition ini. Baiklah, dan kita
Bravo,
lihat ya.
peserta.
Ya, kita lihat ya siapa pemenangnya. Silahkan panitia bisa dibantu. Siapakah pemenangnya? Oh, Bu Chandra minta tolong dibantu.
Seto. Siapa Pak?
Bapak Seto, mungkin bisa berdiri
Seto,
dulu.
Ruth and RW. Siapa RW?
Seto, mungkin bisa berdiri untuk.
Seto siapa?
Oh, oke.
Seto siapa?
Seto, mbaknya dengan siapa? Oh, Mbak Ruth, oke. Terus yang LW, RW siapa? Oh ya, silakan berdiri Ibu. Terima kasih banyak sudah ikut berpartisipasi.
Seto siapa Seto?
Ini Bapak atau Ibu ini? Seto ini. Atau jangan-jangan ini bukan panitia kan, Mbak?
Oh. Seto kalau
Iya. Kalau tidak ada yang mengaku, ini nanti kita akan turunkan ke yang ke Ayah, Ibu Ayah. Seto ini siapa? Oke, tidak ada ya, kita batalkan ya untuk yang Pak Seto ya. Baik, hadiah selanjutnya kita berikan kepada Ibu Ayah. Tepuk tangan untuk ketiga pemenang kuis Slido. Perempuan semua, alhamdulillah. Oh iya, maybe Pak Seto feel embrace ya. Kok saya minoritas di antara perempuan-perempuan ini gitu. Oke, alright, thank you very much. So, ya nanti panitia akan memberikan souvenirnya kepada ibu-ibu sekalian. So, thank you very much to our speakers today, and please give a round of applause, everyone. Please come forward because we would like to give you a token of appreciation. And wait a minute, I would like to invite Mr. Edison Bako to come forward. Okay, and Mr. Edison Bako will give the placard to Ibu Dwi Murai. Ya, Bu Dwi Murai. Mungkin di tengah, Bapak dan Ibu, untuk bisa ambil foto. Yes. Alright. And then Pak Edison also please give the placard to Mrs. Carol. Yeah, yeah, you may stay on the stage. Yeah. Okay, please give big applause, everyone. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Edison. Please stay on the stage. And last but not least, Ibu Chandra mohon dibantu untuk memberikan placard kepada Bapak John. Ya, ini juga sebagai simbol rasa terima kasih kami dari Ekadin yang telah membantu kami menyelenggarakan dengan memberikan support penuh untuk menyelenggarakan Winners Sharing Forum terkait Global Mindset Thriving in a Borderless World. Baik, kita sesi foto bersama dulu Bapak dan Ibu. Please come forward. Ya. Please all speakers. All speakers please come forward to take a photo together, maybe also with Mr. Edison and also Bu Hetifah too. Yeah, please come forward. Iya. Balance. Ya. Mau pakai plakatnya dulu? Plakatnya boleh dibawa ya? Ya, please. Plakatnya mungkin boleh dibawa. Baik, 1, 2, 3, ya, oke, 1, 2, oke, thank you very much Bapak dan Ibu, terima kasih sekali, you may come back to your seat. Tepuk tangan dulu dong Bapak dan Ibu. Luar biasa sekali, diskusinya sangat hangat dan sangat inspiratif. Ya, terima kasih. Baik, please come back to your seat as we come to the closing session. Terima kasih. Ya, ya, please come back to your seat, everyone. Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are come to the closing session. Charles Darwin once said, "In the long history of humankind, those who learn to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed." All right, so as the session comes to an end, I would like to say thank you very much to our speakers who are keen to join us today and give us a lot of new knowledge, and also our committees would like to express our appreciation and high gratitude for our sponsor, Pertamina New and Renewable Energy. Please give big applause. Also, thank you for the participants. Yeah, I wish you all the best, and I'm hoping that we can continue our Mother's Kartini spirit to conquer the world's challenges. Last but not least, I apologize if I might make you feel uncomfortable during the discussion. I hope we can see each other, and I hope you stay healthy. My name is Novita Putri Rudiani. Thank you very much, and see you in the next agenda. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
At Energy Academy Indonesia, we believe that success begins with people and innovation. By nurturing talent and fostering growth, we create a world where limitless possibilities become reality. In today's rapidly evolving world, we recognize the critical need for a seamless transition toward green business. We proudly stand as an expert firm, knowledge hub, and talent hub, building innovation, skill, and purpose. To help you grow up, level up, scale up, and skill up, preparing for the challenges and opportunities of tomorrow. With Pathway Plans, under Power One, Research and Innovation, we bring together expertise and resources. Pillar 2 focuses on capability building and learning experiences, empowering growth and supercharging talent and capability. Through Pillar 3 Collaborative Partnership, we connect innovation with the market, forging powerful partnerships. Finally, Pillar 4 focuses on community empowerment, building capacity and partnerships to meet community needs and aspirations. We support and empower efforts to maximize positive impacts, unlock potential, and create a sustainable future.
Check.